Hello, welcome to another episode of Mini Talk Talk,
a talk show series where we talk about video games and the lives of other people.
Today we want to talk about collaging and playing dress up.
And how those activities connect and subvert the way we play video games.
I collage a lot, and I realized that collaging, as well as dressing up as different people, which is the other activity I really like doing, are tools that I use for my self-expression.
And this sounds very much like what I do when playing around with character editors in video games. I also dress up as the characters I created, you know? To act out my own version of my favorite character.
And what does that look like?
Let me show you. I don't think you need super fancy clothes to perfectly recreate your favorite characters.
Well, that's good, because I don't have that many fancy clothes anyway.
I love to spend many minutes, sometimes hours, in character editors to create different identities for myself. It's really just a matter of allowing yourself to imagine being a powerful character. And if you want to transform and wear this identity, putting on a tiny hat can be the key you need to unlock this version of yourself.
Or a colorful cap.
Or shorts.
You turned me into a disco cyberpunk person.
Very powerful indeed. Our editing team picked a more poetic submission from another network news journalist. We almost made it. It's hard. Let's face it. You cannot win. We didn't accept that. So we almost won. We almost won 3 times. In the ocean, in the dust, and in the void. What remains is, we didn't win. Oh, more poetic indeed. They continue. Video games are different to the real world. One of the things that I really like about them is that when the shit hits the fan, in some situations, you can't do anything to change the real world anymore. But in video games, you can always fix your prior mistakes. I like that. Thanks, Mini Talk Talk. Another somewhat muted letter from our audience. We do appreciate them as much as any other voice that engages with our discussion. I do hope that things turn out brighter for you in the days ahead. Thank you for sharing, and now back to the show.
Now we took something from the video games world and wear it in the real world. Can I also put something of myself into the video games world?
Of course! You just roleplay. There's plenty of games in which you can do that. You can put yourself into many open world games, for example.
I think I did that.
How?
When I was younger, I was playing GTA Vice City. But because I was still young, there was a mission I could not pass. No matter how hard I tried, I would always fail. Which is where I, at some point, gave up on the actual game and started to play my own game inside of Vice City.
In what way?
I would take care of Tommy, the main character, and I would drive cars with Tommy and go to empty houses and pretend he lives there or he works there, and I would even pretend to talk to characters on the streets. I think in this way I appropriated the game with my pure imagination, putting myself and my own world into it.
I think this demonstrates very well how a game can extend your identity. It could start out of boredom, but it can become, and often is, something more profound. We appropriate the things we spend time with and make them our own.
And I think GTA is an exceptionally good example of this, because it is a world that is created with a specific story and missions But for me, I played it as a different game. I brought a part of my world that I like, caring for other people and making sure they have shelter and are safe, into a game that was all about danger and violence. I appropriated it in a way that worked for me.
Yes, adding ideas of care and comfort into game worlds that are sorely lacking those concepts is as much a form of self-expression as dressing up like a video game character. It can be powerful to adjust a game world to your liking in a caring way. Look, I made something for you.
Wow! Thank you, Leonie.
I think I like collaging because it offers me a possibility to create something that is my own while building on something that had already existed.
I think that dressing up really allows us to feel extraordinary and badass, even though these properties are not necessarily something we want to wear every day. But it is nice to be able to wear them once in a while.
Totally. The world does not have a permanent place for me as a video game character. Far from it, actually. But every once in a while, it's nice that I have access to that part of my identity, to give space to a version of myself that is extraordinary and, as you say, badass. Thank you for watching Mini Talk Talk,
A talk show series about video games and the lives of other people.